Hello and welcome to another gameplay review on the Virkayu gameplay channel. And in this one we have, finally, Rammus, who is getting nerfed again. And now I have a lot of people saying, but Virkayu, but Internet, but Margieta, Rammus is not broken. Rammus is fine. Yeah, he's not broken, but he's also not fine. His win rate is substantial and he does way more to AP champions than people would tell you. They say he scales with armor and makes Vayne into herself, which is good. We need those champions because Vayne. But, you know, he does it against AP champions and other junglers as well. Coupled with the experience nerfs that have come through in the last patch, let me just make sure we have our pretty zoom out. There we go. He's actually in a really good spot. Now, obviously in higher elo it doesn't really work as well. That's typically been the case. But as you will see in this game, a former Grandmaster Rammus savant and enthusiast runs these typical Aftershock rooms, Font of Life, Turbo Speed Celerity, and so on. And we're going to see how you can actually carry with a tank, but also bring forth that ganking pressure and teamfight target selection that makes things like Udyr with a chem tank, Rammus with a chem tank, Volibear with a chem tank, except he's not really a jungler anymore, which is a separate discussion in and of itself, and specifically Skarner. They have this single target focus, but their ability to get onto people and basically force one member to die is why they're so strong in a sort of pick-orientated meta to get those leads before you end up in death pools where their single target focus doesn't matter. And just to flip back 10 seconds, enemy bottom lane shows late here, so we know that the Hecarim's also getting a leash, not using any mana. That's kind of rude. You know, if you're gonna leash, use a spell. I don't know. Rel's kind of broken too. I've just been permanent banning that. I've been playing a lot of support because my champions just don't thrive in the jungle. I mentioned Volibear. He has the same play rate as Nocturne mid and a worse win rate than Nocturne mid. And no one thinks of Nocturne as a jungler, so why would you think Volibear is a jungler? I've tweeted about it. I've tagged lots. I've tagged Margieta. I don't know. We just need to try and get through the riot that Volibear is currently not in a very successful state in the jungle. But then again, why would you need to do that when you have things like Hecarim and from the chem tank meta, Mundo, Udyr, Skarner, Rammus. They do everything that he wants to do significantly better and have multiple CC chains, which is again very important. With Udyr, he doesn't, but he can spam E so many times it's basically like having it. Now, I love this. I love this a lot. If the chains hit, you're dead. This is what I'm not seeing. When you're playing a tank, with the experience reductions, you have to understand fully, if you full clear, you will be slower than the enemy champion, who is most likely a meta pick. You will not be able to beat them 1v1 in the river. If you don't have prio, you're screwed. Your best bet is having an optimized clear that gets you 3, that gets you on the map. And if you're not doing that, you're putting yourself in a very, very bad situation, because I understand the need to sort of own your experience, but you just have to accept the fact that as a tank with speed, with gank ability, your strength lies in burning flashes, which sets up subsequent ganks, and that's where your strength is, because now you're in this guy's head, okay? He has no flash. He probably wards on the top side. Let's have a look. There you go. This is a bad ward. I don't like it because Rammus can just scurry around the outside. You don't know that. I would assume he probably warded here, so you have to treat it as such. We know the Hecarim started on the bottom side. He hasn't ganked yet. He's most likely going for that 5 camp. And the Rammus here basically says, listen, because I spent my time ganking, because Hecarim will be done with that 5-6 camp into Crab, 315, 320, what have you, I'm never going to be able to match that. And if I take my time now to do this, blue buff, the Vayne top lane, and again, range top isn't exactly that great, neither swing top, so, you know, what have you. The Hecarim will gank here first. And if he does do that, you're going to get the Swain snowballing and the Hecarim snowballing, and now the Hecarim has prior on this, mid has prior because it's a Silas melee versus ranged, and you suddenly have to give this up, fall back to this. You're not going to be able to do that because you're going to get double crabbed. All of a sudden, you might have a Rel pushing for prio here. We can see they're chunked because we're using F keys. And you have by extension, you get supremely stifled. So the whole point of this digression is that, hey, I'm full mana, I'm almost full HP, I've got red buff. I know Hecarim is already 5 camped by 3 minutes. We know this basically in every single game in high elo. Let me cut him off and prevent this gank. It's a wonderful piece of jungling, excellent tracking. Hello, my son. Let me just slap into you with a rollerball, and then I'm going to taunt you, and then we're going to give you some unhit damage and some self-inflicted wounds from a W. Really nice. Really, really nice. And now the Hecarim is forced to detach. So what they know from the blue team's perspective is maybe he floats on to take this, and because you do that, right, what we were focusing on is this, the Vayne sees you. So the Vayne takes this opportunity to go on, get her passive rolling, gets a flash out, very unlikely to not kill the Swain, because she feels safe and secure, like Palpatine does, you know, thinking about the future of his empire. Because the Rammus is here to cut off the Hecarim. Now, because the Hecarim's being chunked, the Vayne feels ever so bold. Is he really going to go for this? This is a potential dive here. I think the Rammus missed this opportunity. He was busy fighting the Hecarim and worried about the crab. Because the thing is here, if you go for this dive, this mega dive immediately, if you went for this immediately, they'd definitely kill the Swain, I think. So this little bit of restraint here, focusing on the crab, that costs him their team first blood. The fear 100% is, if I do that, the Hecarim most likely can drift here and then double crab me, and I'm in a bit of a spot, but the Hecarim, as we saw earlier, did the smart thing of, my top's out traded, I got spiked, I'm gonna just go to the bottom crab. And the thing is, because we know that the Rammus did the 3-camp red side into the mid lane gank, into the upside, this guy knows at, you know, 4 minutes 10, let's say for Rammus, his Krugs will be up and so on. So if Rammus shows here and sticks around, that counter jungling is available to our pony of death. In the meantime, Rammus decides, I'm going to take his full Krug camp. I don't... you're giving him free XP here. I think I would have just taken the big one for the gold and just left it. Alternatively, okay, so that stifles his level 6 experience gain. Alternatively, by taking this, you ruin his sequencing. Because the next time whatever happens, he goes up, he's going to do Raptors, he's going to reach the Krug camp that you've left behind, and his sequencing subsequent to that will be perfect. Which means even though he loses initial experience here, he gets to reset it in conjunction with the Raptors. Now, however, when he sequences up again, he's going to finish his Raptors, and he has no idea when Krugs is going to show up. Or are going to show up, rather. So, depends on what game you're playing. However, if he spends a lot of time bottom lane and he counter jungles you here, and then he basically spends enough time to go back to base and then sequence all the way up, you're giving him free experience. So, in this case, it's more about juicing himself. The Swain has TP'd in. There you go. I hate all of these. He's fine. These two. Oh, my goodness. No. Just no. So that's fine. Nothing you can really do about it. The thing is, you've delayed, by taking those Krugs, you've also delayed your own farming here. So I mean, you can assume that he might stick around to take this. I think it's unlikely. Purely because it's gonna spawn so much later than the Krugs, yeah. So the Hecarim most likely goes back to base here, but at the same time, from Rammus's perspective, we don't know exactly what he's doing. I'd be slightly concerned about bottom lane. If you're smurfing, this is very interesting. If you're smurfing, or sorry, not smurfing, but trying to climb out of low elo, mid elo kind of range, this dive would never happen. But if it does happen, if you for some reason have a competent human being in the support position, and you see that these are not up yet, but you know he did a 3-camp to start, you know the Krugs are up, so you could easily go and juice these. And by the time you've done that, the Raptors will be fresh, barbecued, ready to go. Take those. And now you can easily flank down here and smite this bottom lane for overstaying with low HP and mana. So this would tilt and carry you more in a lower elo game. In a higher elo game, maybe it's not worth the risk here to stick around. You don't know what's warded, what isn't. You've got this guy over here fresh. You don't know where the Rammus is. Bit more caution. But I still think that's a play we can think about doing regardless of our MMR. Rammus takes his Grump and his blue and says, you know what? Screw you, Swain. You have no flash, no TP. Wait patiently. Knock him up, taunt him. Okay. Now peel. Peel, 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 peel. Wait for the taunt. You got the TP coming through from the Rise. Just disengage. Don't look to fight. Good. Restraint. Nice. Hold up. So, he goes for the TP here, right? Right in view of the Silas, who interrupts it but because Silas interrupts it, he dies. I mean, if I'm the mid laner here, you can see visually, hey look, my top lane and my jungle are getting out. Just let him go. Bye. See ya. Thanks for letting me, now you can do whatever you want in the mid lane. Also gives you pride to do other things, like dive this. Like the Silas missed this. I don't know, like maybe you just shove, and then you just run down and dive, because you've got 1 dead, 2 top, and 2 turbo low here. I don't know if any mid lane players in chat, what do you think about this? That looks nice. He just killed himself, basically. Okay, so a lot of things going on in this first phase. Now Rammus knows Hecarim's top lane. I'm not going to outfarm him. Let me go and hold the mid lane wave. Something people are talking a lot about now. Jungler's getting so much experience from holding waves while mid laners are dead or top laners are roaming, so on. Raya's doing work. Take your Raptor camp, tier 2. Take your Crow camp, tier 2. Now, by sequencing down here, you'll notice he skipped these, because holding this and absorbing that gold into these more elevated experience camps, tier 2, is more valuable than wasting time on the wolves. Now, in this case, taking the red, I feel is a little bit... Is he waiting for an item spike? Yeah, okay. He wanted Swifties plus Bramble Vest, so plus a control ward. Normally, I would say here, you're not looking to take this because you're going back to base, you're wasting the time. Maybe you're looking to use your flash again, your ultimate on the bottom lane. But then you have to analyze, do we actually kill them? I don't know, and if Hecarim's this side taking this again and sequencing, he's going to be around with level 6. I don't think we win that 3v3. To be honest. I don't think so. So taking the red here, getting your Swifties, your Bramble Vest, get that control ward, sequence up. Are we close to level 7? No, we can go straight to top lane. There we go. Crab and top lane. Okay. Okay. Pause that thought. You know how I'm talking a lot about scanning as you leave your jungle? It's very, very good. Purely because you need to see this. If they see your approach, you're wasting time going for this now. In other elos, maybe they don't see you. Maybe they don't notice you, and they die anyway. But because you know you were seen, okay? This is big for me. You could have just hit this plant to get this and take it out. But you have to assume at this point they have seen you, right? What other vision is in play? Now, Rise has disappeared from the map. We lost vision, all right? We should not. He's backing up. He's walking this way. We know the Hecarim was taking this, probably sequencing upside as well. Alternatively, because bottom lane has prio, he could have just done this into that, right? We don't... Okay. The replay gives it away. I'm talking hypothetically from Rammus's point of view. Always walk through this bush. No control ward. But we have no idea what else is warded, and we know that they've seen you. So at this point, once you see this, alright, it gives you the shout out, you know straight up, alright, they took the dragon. They're all on bottom side. My only concern with this immediate play is as you see the red pings coming through, bottom lane has prio, Hecarim is a really fast pony, and they saw you here. Now from your perspective, you cleared the ward, but they still know where you are, they know what you want to do. Every jungling action has an equal and opposite reaction. They take dragon, I take herald, you dive bot, I dive top, you take my red, I take your red. We're always looking to do this kind of stuff. I still think I would have hit this to get vision, and then I can scan the river just in case. Because they saw this, actually. I mean, this, you're not really in vision, but do you understand my thought process here? They know where you are. They don't really need to see you. They have indirect confirmation, and now they're going to collapse on you. So the only reason this would be a good bait is if you have the numbers. And in this case, they currently do. Alright? There you go. And this is where the Rammus comes in. He gets a taunt onto the Hecarim. The Silas goes really ham, and he should be able to come up with something. No, bye-bye pony. Swain decides, I'm going to go into the river. The Rammus smited the Herald, and it reset. That's tragedy. The Swain basically just turbo-ins this. But Rel has now rotated up. Vayne dies, and now you have to leave. Okay. Do you see my thought process in this play? The Rammus's intentions and the Rammus's actions have caused a cascade of events. Purely because he walked on a ward and showed what he was doing, and then he walked on a ward here. This is unfortunate. You wouldn't have known this. Which is my point of either scanning this and then hitting the plant across. Maybe that's a better option. You scan this, And once you see it's warded, let's go back and hit this just to see what's going on. Because you don't know what the Hecarim is doing just yet, right? We don't have 100% confirmation he's on the dragon. Probably he is. But he could also be a bad jungler, or he could also be single-minded and just be sequencing up here. And by doing that, you have a bit more peace of mind about what they see and don't see, and you also don't give them the inclination that you're on the Herald. They really knew he was on the Herald here. And the thing is, because we saw Rel moving up from the dragon, and you've got both people bottom lane, this is not a fight you want to take unless you can 100% kill someone very, very quickly. Okay? Because otherwise you get outnumbered and shoved out, which is exactly what happened. And the fact that this resets is just... yeah. Nothing you can do there, that's absolutely fine. As a jungler, you say, alright, sadness has happened. Don't fight it, don't fight it, don't fight it, don't fight it. Take your Gromp. I'll try and look for something top. Expected things. See, he's trying to get on the map here, but because you're against a meta jungler, the ganks that you're trying to get are not always panning out. And this is why it's important to show these kinds of videos, because your decisions have impact beyond the immediate vicinity of where you're actually trying to make things happen. I think we should go top lane here. Okay, good ward. There we go. Patience. Patience. Let's turn on the speed. Why would you flash before he's taunted you? Alright, well played. That's good. Rel on the bottom side there, we see that. Okay, we see her ward here, so we know that's warded. We can take this juicy, juicy crab. Swain is TPing in. We see Hecarim here, I think, immediately. You're not 100% sure where the Hecarim is. He might be looking to do this, especially in an elo where they farm slower, less efficiently, and it puts them in a place they shouldn't be. But as soon as you see this now, back top lane. There's nothing you can do bottom lane. Repeat, get this Vayne absolutely juiced and far ahead. Tank it up with your ult. Beautiful. Very nicely done. And this is my point, right? As a tank jungler, you will never, ever outfarm, to a huge degree, something like a Hecarim, something like an Udyr. Definitely not Udyr. And in this case, he's only down 12 CS, 3 camps. That's really, really good. And here, you know, it comes in taking this camp away, gives them that advantage. The holding of the mid-wave experience. It's not in camps, it's in lane pressure. Your bot lane's inting. The Hecarim's getting a lot of plates here. Plus 320. Right. Rammus. Don't tell me this thing is absolutely fairly... I mean, to me it's balanced, but don't tell me, you know, the nerfs are coming out of left field. They're nowhere. Look at this. And this is good. I like this. I don't see this enough. Your bottom lane ints, right? But they're all overstaying. Currently, this guy just got a huge amount of experience, but he has no mana. He has no mana. And he hasn't spent his gold yet. He's not going to be able to do anything. You got a fresh Ezreal absolutely... You know, freshly loaded on the Essence Reaver. Nice buy, by the way. Also getting nerfed. Let's just go in. And the Rel is tanky, but she's now no longer co-joined to her jungler. Gets taunted, pulled back in. Nothing she can do. Wastes her flash for no reason. Exhaust on the Misfortune, who gets overzealous trying to save her support. Admirable, but foolish. And she dies as well. Double kill shutdowns go ahead to your Ezreal. Perfection. Very good. Now, Red is going to be spawning. Krugs are up. We can probably full sequence. Dragon is available. We have our core itemization. We can farm quickly. We can kill people quickly. And we can roll quickly. What more do you want in life? Nothing. But we definitely want to try to get this dragon. Now, as soon as Rel swaps from respawn to the top lane to help out the Swain, this is kind of expected. But I think we should probably look to get some dragon control. This will hinge a little bit on your laners, on your own warding control. Currently, Rel again moves down. Vayne has no TP. She's moving top lane. It looks like you will be outnumbered. So unless you can get a pick, control warded here. Unless you get a pick, you might need to back out. And that's fine. I think it happens. Swain's top lane as well. So now it's a 4v4, but I don't know because the... Oh, he got his Ionian boots and a longsword. I don't know if we want to go 50-50 this. I don't think I want to fight it. And now Rel goes in. Okay. I mean... Did you see the Silas? Okay, that's not so bad. That's not so bad. But again, that's results based. For me, in terms of how the mid lane is going, I don't trust my Silas to be very handy in this situation. And Misfortune, even though she's died a few times now, this is not a huge fight. But this is, again, the strength of being a tank jungler. I go in. Now, sit between yourself and their team. Between your team and their team. Do not let them get through you. You are the rock. Well, so to speak. Just absorb this. You know, force this out. This is great. You're among 4 people here, right? Burning damage, absorbing damage. You die. But, that's funny. But you're still able to turn it around. Which means now you've got 2 waves pushing. Well, 2 waves you want to start pushing, so you can get some plates, but it's too late, actually. Never mind. Never mind. I was kind of, you know, if this was a minute before, you would actually get a few plates back, but unfortunately they died. Vayne takes top lane and now melts the Swain. Okay, so this is the thing about an ADC top lane. If you can get them fed like this, fun. You know, not for the enemy, but for you. Okay, out of base, where do we want to go? We can look to go and punish the Misfortune who just showed up going this direction. Vayne should be looking to reset, but at the same time I'm anticipating... Okay, so the Smurf Star Trek to the mid lane brought Rel with him. And there's... Yeah, there you go, see? Again, overpushing, punish. Every single time. Before you do anything else, punish the overpusher. The thing is, what I was going to say is, out of base from death, you might see them try and collapse on the Vayne. They decided to go for the mid lane instead. So, they'll get kills there and shutdowns. That's where you could say, listen, let's go top lane instead. This is a good play, but this is trust in your teammates not to be in this situation. You're going to lose all your top side now. The only way I would never, ever consider going bottom lane here is if my top laner was competent. My mid laner was competent and he could solo the Misfortune. Then we just go top. We say, you kill Misfortune, we're fine. Personally, I probably go top side, but that's because I'm very concerned about my top laners over pushing and dying. I don't think you anticipate this, so it's a good play by our team. It's a good play. You have to accept this fate. Could hold mid lane here instead of just letting it fall cheap for no reason. You know they're on their Herald. Vayne has just gone back to base. Okay, so this is a fight you could take now. You're still level 10. We have Vayne up. And Rise flashed. You're seen. Doesn't matter. Start rolling. They're split up. They're split up. You could just turn on the Rise. That's fine. Rolling should be up again. Here we go. Misfortune's mid. That's your giveaway. Good. Good. So by killing Misfortune, you might lose a few things in mid lane if the enemy team makes a play, which they did. But because of that, you got your whole team with you here. Alright. Working out so far. The thing is, you're up on gold now. I mean, and it looked really bad in the beginning, and this is something that happens way too much. A bottom lane will get fed, and then they just keep making mistake after mistake. They overstay, they overpush, they don't rotate in time, they don't read the map, and they just die. You know, the Misfortune had what she needed, and now you got a 7-3 Ezreal and a 2-5 Misfortune. Rammus made those things happen. It's big. And they get the Herald, so that's good. Resetting, Turbo Chem Tank, what a name, is completed. Swain's top side, you see the ping coming through here. Now they're anticipating a lot of pressure here. There's no dragon up. So now we can farm. This is good farming time. Everyone's resetting, spending them in the gold. I think if you're gonna do this, you could easily do that. Rom, then Wolves, which will give him 11. But at the same time, if you're looking to hover around the mid lane, and just be there in case Rise tries something, someone TB's in, then just doing Wolves, Raptors is fine as well. This is the boring part of a mid-game where the setup is crucial. If you are not setting this up correctly, if you are not putting yourself in a position to react immediately to a mistake, to someone being out of position, especially as a Rammus, as a Skana, as an Udyr, you're not playing it right, because you have to capitalize on that. Because you saw what happens. There's a Rel, there's a Rise, there's a Swain. If you do not approach in the right moment, they just disengage from you because you're a binary champion. Which is why that new ult, we'll do another video with the new ult, coming through should be very interesting. Patience and vision control is all you need for the dragon setup, because now you lost the first two, we cannot afford to lose the next two. Fine? Relaxed? Okay, here we go. Here we go. See this? Turbo chem tank time, I think. And we have flash up, and Rises no dead. And that's it. He's too far forward, trying to get CS. You have chem tank, you have flash, you have taunt. Just go full on and make sure he dies. CC follow up, excellent. Now peel, as best you can. Try peel. Good taunt, very nice, perfect. Well played, Mr. Karug. Vayne can chase down the misfortune, and now you can tank the tower. Just sit there tanking towers. Got your W active, very nice. Beautiful. Beautiful. How easy was that? And that's the kind of thing I wanted to make this video about. Literally, now, as you can see from the timeline, they are in complete control. They've got 2 ADCs and a tank, plus Morgana, shield, and stun. You've got multiple chains of CC. You're just going to break the base open here with a Herald. Don't overstay. You can't end. Alright? Let's go get that dragon very, very quickly. And then you can reset and look for a Baron play. But how easy was that? Absolute great reads here. Gank first, burn the flash, go top side. I'm full mana. Don't really need to take my blue buff. I know the Hecarim's done his 5 camp. Let me cut him off and chase him away. Perfect. Created the room to dive. We didn't see it. That's fine. We take this. My mid laner dives to the Hecarim. Oh well. Nothing we can really do about it. I'm just going to make sure I'm staying in the area. Ganks top lane multiple times. Cleans up misfortune multiple times straight out of base. Okay, we should see this. Your Vayne is very fed. Okay, he decides to go for the Rise because the Vayne is apparently very capable. You want to peel the Rel here. Good. Perfect. He just slaps himself in between them. Complete disruption. It's exactly what we're looking for. Overcommitment by the red team here. You have to be cautious though, because you will give shutdowns. And in this case, I wanted to say we have to be cautious because a lot of times what will happen is you get this kind of play. The red team overcommits trying to get a shutdown. They're frustrated from all the swing in the game. And the Swain is top lane just not having a good time. The blue team can get caught up over chasing here as well. I know 2 are dead now, but you are low and haven't reset. So you have to be cautious about who's fed, who's there, is TP up, and so on. If you do have your whole team collapsing, you can afford to try and go for this. But wait, there you go. There you go. The big difference between elos is how they approach that. The Vayne and the Rammus in a lower elo game just keep running in and they die. In high elo, they back out and bait. The rest of the team shows up, get clean up. So that's, from red team's perspective, I don't like it. Okay, Rammus is so fast now. Oh, hi, Mrs. Okay, Rammus is only 4 AD champions. He doesn't hurt AP champions. Let's observe. Just full step. Yeah. Yeah. Totally. Yeah. Yes. Good TP Rise, but I don't think you should do that. Hi Rel. Okay, see now we're overcommitting. Alright, there you go. So it happened on the top side. Okay, it happened on the top side. I think once you take Swain, you can leave. It's a bit of a fiesta now. I don't think there's a lot more constructive criticism that I can give. Unless, I mean, it's just stat checking and they do win. There you go. Do they win? Yeah. Fed Ezreal always wins. And now as Rammus, you type in alt chat, I made that play. I made that play. So from here, everyone respawns, you take the Baron. Should be absolutely fine. Yeah, there you go. No one wants to really fight now. You can see this. Look, no one wants to fight because they're just concerned. They're concerned. Don't throw. Let's see this. I see the red team gets an inhibitor here, so we must be very cautious. This is shadowing, by the way. This is shadowing. That's pretty nice. This is where you've got a laner pushing, trying to break open the base again. Okay. But you don't want your laner to be collapsed on by themselves. But as soon as you do a 1-3-1, and they see that Rammus isn't here, you might get a collapse. This is the downside of a 1-3-1, right? Normally the Rammus would be here, the tank would be with them, the Sejuani, the Nunu, what have you. And with this strong split push they have, the enemy team's only hope in hell is to just 5v3 you. And if you have no TP availability and you die, you're going to lose the mid lane. So that looks like what happens here. This is just exactly how you would play a 1-3-1 if you cannot match. And that's bad positioning by the Morgana. Don't even remotely go there. And yeah, there you go. That's not on the Rammus. That's not on the Rammus, but it is on the Rammus. He was trying to shadow, anticipating a collapse on the Sylas. The red team played it very well, said, okay, if you want a 1-3-1, supposedly, 1-2-2 technically, we're going to kill you. And then take your base. Vayne's got the split push top lane. A little bit endgame macro here. Nothing too surprising. Just hold. You can lose games here very quickly, so just hold as best you can. Good job by the Sylas. Just wave clear. Don't die though. Okay, so his target selection there was fine, but the Vayne got caught out. People are respawning. In and out with the roly-poly ball. The Swifties. And now you can chase them down. If you see them here not going back, just chase them. Chase them, chase them, chase them. You've got top and bot pushing because of your 1-3-1. They weren't able to end. And now you're so tanky. Note on the itemization. After this and this and this, he went into the, what's the movement speed thing called? The part of Dead Man's Plate. And then he finishes Dead Man's Plate. So it's very, very quick now. And then he goes into the Negatron Cloak just for that added MR against their team, which is actually quite magic heavy. Chase him down. Point and click, point and click. He's waiting for her to make a move before he does it, but I think he's just taunting them a little bit. And then they can end. Nothing really else happens in this game, just a little note on the macro and the throwing mechanics that can occur. It's funny to watch. Mega comedy. And then you see here, they just take the inhibitor, they go and kill some more people, they take the Baron, and then they just win the game. I mean, it's not... They stick together here and there's nothing left to talk about. So, hopefully you can see as a tank jungler, sometimes reading the map and being reserved and setting up, you know, a camp on a lane is your best bet. Your target selection and team fighting is always going to be the biggest difference between whether you win or lose. And obviously, if you are fast like Rammus, as I keep saying, I should just say Rammus, you end up getting a lot of picks on people who overcommit. Here we go again. Dive in. Spam your ult. Don't really need to have good team fighting here. Your Vayne and your backline are just absolutely insane with the Ezreal also. You've got the Black Shield from the Morgana to protect them against CC. You can just disrupt and taunt and powerball. There you go. Thank you very much for watching. Please do like, share, and comment if you enjoyed and learned something. Don't forget to consider subscribing to this channel as well as the main channel for all your jungle needs. And as always, I will see you all in the next video, which should be tomorrow, and maybe a stream.